Okay, I'm going to show you how to make these cable ties. They're good for your audio cables or microphone cables, speaker cables, that stuff. These are homemade things. Okay, you could buy a roll of this Velcro at Harbor Freight for like $7 and it can make a whole bunch. You'll save some money, and then you might want to make custom sizes. So it's a good way of doing this. So the tools I'm using is I'm using a hole punch, so I can punch a hole in it right there, and then some good scissors and trim off the end. All right, and so the idea is you have this hole, and you could put the Velcro inside that hole and be able to wrap this around your cable, and then of course you can use the rest of the Velcro and fasten your stuff. So quickly, I made on my workbench a template of 3 different sizes. So if I'm using like a really large bundle, like 100-foot speaker cable, I'll use this, and then various different sizes for smaller cables. So I found that the length of your short part right up to your hole, you want to make sure it wraps around the cord diameter. I've got it for about 2.5 inches from the end to the hole, and then various different sizes for total length of 8-inch, 9-inch, and 10.5-inch. So, and you could do something similar. I leave that there because I do I make a lot of these things. So on my workbench, so you can see that's the template. Really simple. So what I start up doing, I'm going to go with a microphone cable length. So that brings it about to here. So the whole length from the beginning to the end here. And you don't have to be too crazy, but I thumbnail it and say that's my length right there. Okay. And then place it back down on my template and thumbnail it. That's about where my hole is going to be. And so I line up my hole punch and I make sure I'm centered in there so it's not so crazy. Punch a hole in it, just like that. Cool. And to trim off, you got to make sure you're trimming down. The width should be the same size as the diameter of the hole. So yeah, I'll just take off. Let's see. Get it in a better view here. Line that up, and when I get close to the end, I just kind of do a quick round off right up to it. It doesn't have to be too pretty. And then I'll do the same thing for the other side. Just like that. Simple enough. Okay. And I like to take a nibble off each one of these ends, because like when I'm grabbing it, sometimes I don't like that uncomfortable feeling of that corner right on my finger. All right, so I'm a little spoiled. But now, bonus time. Okay. I'm going to make it to where the very end I iron flat the Velcro. That way it doesn't stick on the very tab, so I got something to grab onto instead of trying to un-Velcro it. This is, pretty much ironed down, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. I use an iron, and I think I got this at Harbor Freight too. This is for like, I don't know, plastic welding. So I use a flat iron on there. Of course, again, everything's hot, so I'm very careful. And then I quickly iron that off so there's no Velcro in, so it won't stick. And then we safely put that on its stand. Then I'm ready. I'll blow on it to cool it down. Then this is ready to install on my cable. All right, now that's all cooled down. All right, let's put on my new cable. All right, and however way you prefer to do this, I like to start off there, wrap that around in the hole, like that. Pull it through, and then keep winding it through. You can either wrap it back inside the hole, or you can trim it off with some scissors if it's too long. All right, that's on there. Get my cord, and there you go. And because I've ironed out the back part of that, it doesn't stick, and I've got something to grab onto. Pretty cool. So you can get these tools at Harbor Freight. So you can get the iron tool at Harbor Freight and the Velcro, and you're going to be making a lot of these things custom size and a whole lot less.